All right, so it's super cold today. I'm about to go hiking and exploring all day for some stuff, just some locations for my workshops of 2018. And it's supposed to be snowing about an hour north of here, and I'm already really far north in the mountains. So layer yourself, make yourself comfortable, get some really nice pants. I have these super insulated pants with these like reinforced knees and legs, so I can lay all over the wet ground, and it's waterproof. It won't let anything through, and they're all reinforced on my legs and my butt. And it'll make it just super easy and comfortable for me to be able to get in weird positions to get the composition that I want, so that I can get out of the cold, get back in the car, get warm, and then go to the next location. So let's go ahead and pack up and do this. It's really, really cold out here today. So I drove about another hour north from where I live, which is already pretty far up. And I'm in the Blue Ridge Mountains on Blue Ridge Parkway. And I'm at this lake that's really dried up. I'm trying to find a decent composition. And you can see, if I turn the camera around, there's a lot of nice little water puddles, some possibilities for the foreground. And I like the mountains in the background of the lake here. And I'm using my D810 today with my brand new baby. I got the Zeiss Milvus 21mm prime lens. So far, I've only tested this lens out one day. I owned the previous Distagon version, but this lens is really impressive. Really, really impressive. I have a Firecrest polarizer on it right now, and I left my tripod behind because you just want to do that sometimes. I mentioned this in a video a couple weeks ago. Using a tripod sometimes just really sucks the life out of your creativity. It makes you feel kind of glued to one place. So I'm just having a nice little walk around this location. My nose is running and my face is freezing, but it is really fun to just be out here alone. Yeah, so it's pretty. I'm gonna turn the camera on again. It's a very pretty location. It's windy out here today as well, which isn't really helping the cold, but there's more of the Blue Ridge Mountains out there. And I'm just gonna do some more handheld photos. Great thing about the Zeiss Prime is that it has a hyperfocal distance scale. So I just turned the hyperfocal to, or I just turned the focus ring to infinity, and the focus throw on this lens, by the way, is incredible, incredible. So easy to see what's in focus too. So just turn it to infinity, F9, and I'm just firing off some shots. I'm just trying to get an idea for a composition here. If I squat down, which sometimes you have to do. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to mess around and see what I can find here. We're supposed to be exploring. I'm out with my dad and brother today. It's every year around the holidays, a couple days after Christmas, my dad comes in town from Arizona where he works, and me and him and my brother all get together and we do like an exploration day. So my brother likes taking photos as well, so we're out here trying to find something, and hopefully it's going to be a good day. It's really cold, but we're looking for anything and everything. Waterfalls, caves, lakes, anything we can find, and we're just going to stop along the way. So, yeah, I don't really know anything else to say. I'm just walking around aimlessly in the cold trying to find something that works before we just abandon this location. Okay, well, I'm going to go figure this out, and I might do another video clip if I actually find a composition that works. So, we'll see what happens. All right, so we've been driving along the road. The light is finally getting nice. It's about 45 minutes until sunset, and I just saw this this little church that opened up into a little graveyard in a valley, and take a look at what I'm looking at. It's just beautiful farmland with the Great Smoky Mountains in the background. So I'm gonna try to go further down past this graveyard and try to get this shot. This is a beautiful farm. I don't know who owns it, but I haven't seen any private property signs or anything yet, so I'm going to make sure I look out for that because I want to be respectful of the property. But it looks like there's no fence right here at the edge of the graveyard, so I'm going to set up here. It's just beautiful. Look at these panoramic views. I might actually do a panorama. But I'm using my new Zeiss 21mm prime. I might break out the Nikkor 70-200 2.8 lens for some close-up stuff, but I think this is actually going to be probably the best shot of the day. You can't beat it. It's got layers. It's got a lot of nice layers. It's got your valley and your kind of like rolling hills of pastures in the foreground. It's got the same thing in the midground, and in the very background you have the sun and the mountains, of course. And I'm gonna wait for the sun to go down. I don't think I'm gonna shoot into the sun. I think I want the color, because right now it's still, the sky's still very warm, and I want more of a red or orange or something, you know, the clouds to go down. So I'll probably shoot the valley now to get this nice light, and then I will shoot later for the color, and I'll just keep my tripod in the same place, and I'll just blend it all together later. Matter of fact, if you want to look at my very last video, I show you how to do that, how you go on location like this and you kind of take different exposures and kind of build your puzzle pieces for your photo, and then you kind of blend them all together later. So, all right, I'm gonna set up and wait for the light, which is what we do as photographers quite often. Let's just wait for the light. All right, so I'm set up with my composition. I'm in this field. Let me give you my view here. So there's my camera set up. The little piece of wheat in the foreground that I found that's kind of getting kissed by the light. Sun's out there, mountains out there. We're in a valley. You can't really ask for a better composition once you find the right one. It's just the hardest part is always the foreground when you're shooting with a wide angle. So got this little piece of wheat with the light is going to be nice. I just put my Zeiss lens on focus to infinity, and we're all good there. I'm shooting on f/16 so I can get a little bit of a sun star. However, I'm about 90% sure I'm not going to keep the sun in the photo, in the final photo. I'm suspecting that the sun's going to go behind the mountains and give me a lot of color. It's obviously going to go behind the mountains, but I'm hoping it gives me some reds or oranges and just lights the sky on fire. Especially, the clouds have been kind of weird today, and normally when that happens, especially in Georgia, which is just crazy weather, normally when that happens, the sky kind of turns this crazy orangey red color. So I'm hoping for that, crossing my fingers. I'm just gonna stay here for another 30-45 minutes until that happens, and just shoot all the way through it. I'm taking, put my brackets into 5 exposures at 2 stops apart. The reason I did change it over to 5 exposures instead of 3 for my bracketing is because when you're dealing with this kind of really high dynamic range situation where you're shooting directly into the sun, the foreground is almost in complete shadow now with just a little bit of light kissing it. You typically want more than 3 exposures to play with, because the exposures in between each 3 are going to be so much different. They're going to be 3 stops apart or 2 stops apart, very drastic. Whereas with 5, 7, or 9 exposures, it's just small buildups of exposure values in between, which is much easier to blend. Because I can take like the best of the highlights and the best of the shadows, and I have a lot more exposure brackets to choose from, simply because it's kind of a step up. It's, you know, just a little half a step up each time instead of one shot being 3 stops apart. Such a massive difference. It's harder to blend them together that way. So I'm going to keep shooting here and just to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful scene. It's freezing cold, but I don't care. This is what we do. This is what we wait for. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so as I was sitting over here enjoying this beautiful, peaceful, serene mountain landscape, and my camera's taking photos, my dad decided to fly my drone for a minute, and all I heard was it got caught in this tree. It just kept falling and falling and falling, and I'll show you the aftermath. All right, so that propeller is gone. That propeller is completely gone. That propeller is gone. The gimbal looks like it may or may not be broken. It actually survived pretty well for what it did, but so the plastic's coming off there. The camera lens has some scratches on it. What do you have to say for yourself?
I think my depth perception is off.
Yeah, I think your depth perception is a little off. As he was flying it, he was like, I thought it was in this grassy field right here. And it was way up in one of those trees and just got caught and just fell and fell and fell. So, if you don't mind, gentlemen, I'm gonna get back to my peaceful, serene, zen situation over here, now that my drone is gone. All right, it's a good thing I got some drone footage before that happened. All right, let's continue enjoying some landscape photography, shall we? This light is really nice. All right, so I don't know if today's video footage has even made much of a vlog. I'm still gonna post it anyway because at least it's something. And I'm sure you guys are gonna want to see some of today. But yeah, it's been hard finding. The hardest part is just finding a location that I like. I guess I'm really picky because there's been some really pretty places we've gone to today, but I get my camera out and I can't like put anything together in my head. But I like this for some reason. It's just nice. Like this is like that picturesque farm photo. I even like the scene over here with that old barn on the top of the hill. That would even be a really nice, like a portrait format shot. So I'm just sitting out here with no drone and a beautiful landscape in front of me. Sun is almost gone, as you can see out there. It's gone behind the cloud. I'm just waiting for it to drop behind the mountain and then hoping it gives me the color that I want. Okay, well, let's get through the next 20 minutes of this cold, freezing cold, and I'll turn the camera back on if anything interesting happens or if my dad breaks another one of my tech toys. All right, so the sun went down. Here, I'll show you the color. If you can kind of see it back there, I don't know what all you can see on this GoPro camera, but the color started to go kind of a deeper pink for a second, and then it stopped. I don't know if a cloud continued to cover the sun that's trying to light everything up. It's still beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful sky, but right now it's still not exactly what I want. So I guess it's still a waiting game. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. The bummer in this sometimes is that I wish, you know, I had like 3 cameras with me. I would set up 3 different compositions here and just choose the best one I like, but I guess I can always just come back to this location because I like this shot right here in front of me with this old barn, and I really wanted to try a panorama of everything, but I thought my best bet was the one I have now. So I'm just going to commit to it, go with it, see what happens. Next time I might just bring 2 or 3 cameras. I might set up my X-T2 and my X-T1 and get a few different compositions just to have some variety when I get back. But I'm hoping the cold is worth the wait for this one, because if the sky lights up, then I'm going to mix in that earlier photo of the valley where it had some light touching it with this sky, and the mountains have been just a nice silhouette the whole time, and that's all I want them to be. The mountains aren't supposed to be the subject of this. The subject, really, I don't really know what the subject is of this composition, to be honest with you. It's with compositions like this where everything's very nicely layered, where you have the valley and then a tiny little hill and the mountains and the sky. It's just, it all kind of complements itself. Everything kind of complements one another in the composition. So which is why you have to make sure your composition is really nice so that everything just kind of shines in the composition, instead of one thing distracting you from another thing, distracting you from the next thing. It has to be thought out. So hopefully I thought it out well enough. We'll find out. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. It was a fun day. I wish I could have done more video footage. There just wasn't a lot of shooting. Whenever I spend like an entire day, you know, looking for locations to photograph, I get my camera out like once or twice. And a lot of people think that, you know, when you go on like a day of landscape photography, you're going on like a whole day of shooting and you take like 500 pictures. I think I've taken, you know, if you don't count the brackets, I think I've probably taken 2 compositions today, so like 2 photos. And that's really, you know, that's really what you'll end up doing as well. When you start kind of fine-tuning the way you think and like hiring your standards for what you want your portfolio to look like, you find out that you get your camera out of your bag a lot less. But it doesn't matter. It's all just fun being out here. So, all right. Well, it was nice talking to you guys as always. I'll see you guys in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you would like to find out more about me and how you can improve your photography, please check out my premium tutorials at findingmiddleearth.com/store.